Sagittarius, how's it going? So I got some messages for you from the Oracle. And the first thing I saw in your meditation was a pink bouncy rubbery ball. You know, like it's kind of like a cartoon. When it bounced, it kind of stretched when it went up. And when it reached its peak, it turned into a iron cube, just a black iron cube, got really heavy and fell and slammed to the ground. Then it lifted up again, turning into that pink bouncy ball again, and went up, and then the bouncy ball turned back into an iron cube and slammed down, and it had this oscillating transformation going, just up and down and up and down. Pink bouncy ball and a black iron cube, just transforming one into the other over and over and over again. And I don't know, it was interesting. It felt like this light and airy and bouncy energy, and then this just heavy stillness, like just denseness and gravity, just going back and forth. And this can be a good thing. These types of oscillations in life are good. Activity and rest, movement and stillness, going between the two back and forth constantly is actually it's a good practice in life. It's very healthy to, it's like inhaling and exhaling, doing something and then resting, having a lot of activity and then going to a state of meditation or something. But I don't know what else that could mean, but it is related to the I Ching hexagram I pulled for you afterward, which is interesting. So here we have hexagram 16, I think, yeah, delight. We have a changing line, that sixth line at the top. So it changes to proceeding forward, number 35, I think. Yes. And the two elements that make this up are thunder over earth. And so we have this light, energetic energy, this, the sound of heaven, thunder, right, over earth, over this heavy, gravity-laden energy, which is very similar to the bouncy ball and the iron cube. And that is, thunder over earth is like the music of heaven nourishing the earth, the vibrations of heaven nourishing the beings in the world, that kind of a vibe. And it brings life and enthusiasm and happiness and peacefulness, this sense of happiness and harmony, as everything in the world is nourished by thunder, or the sounds of heaven and the vibrations of heaven. All of life is animated by this spiritual impulse that comes into the world. It also reminded me of the Judgment card in the tarot deck, the archangel blowing the trumpet and raising the dead. It's sort of that same idea, the vibration and sounds of heaven bringing life to the world of matter. So we have this action and submission, or this activity and rest, just going with the oscillations of life. And the delighted nature here that we're feeling might be past for you, because this changing line, this sixth line, is that this harmony and the sense of delight has already reached its peak and is now past. And it's important that when we feel delight, that we don't wallow in it, that we don't spend too much time in delight, because we can overindulge, we can become self-satisfied, we can become satisfied in delight for the sake of itself and stagnate. Now, you may have achieved something pretty great in your life, and you were delighted about it, and you deserve to kick back and experience that delight, as anyone who accomplishes something worthwhile does. But to stay in that feeling, to try to stay in that feeling forever, just doesn't work. You have to eventually step forward. And this reminds me of when King Wen was moving against a tyrant. This is an ancient Chinese king who wanted to move against a tyrant, basically have a revolution. And he spent years establishing feudal lords within his realm and gaining support from his people, and establishing like good economic systems and fair laws and things like that, and just generally being a good guy so that he would get a lot of support, so that they could eventually take on this tyrant. And he eventually achieved that goal of gaining all the support he needed in all the different towns and cities, establishing the feudal lords and gaining, the trust of all these people. And everyone was delighted, like, wow, we're really doing this. We can like liberate the land from this tyrant. We're at that stage now. We've accomplished the first big step of like laying the foundation of this revolution that's coming, or that we plan on going forward with. And instead of moving against the tyrant right away, he allowed that delight to dissipate, that delight in the land. Now, a lot of people would think, oh, now's the time to move. Everyone's super stoked. Everyone's ready to go. Everyone's really happy. But the thing is, when we're like really satisfied with something we've accomplished, it's similar to drunkenness. It can cloud our judgment. Being elated is not a stable emotion. As good as it feels and as positive as it is, it's just not a good emotion. I mean, think of all the things you may have agreed to do while you were really happy. You see someone you haven't seen in a long time and you're really happy to see them, and then suddenly you're making all kinds of agreements with them to see them more often, or to go somewhere, to travel somewhere with them, or to go to a wedding that they just invited you to, and you're just so happy you say yes to all these things, and then the time comes and it's like, well, I don't actually want to do any of these things. What the hell was I thinking? So delight can be intoxicating. And it would have been a mistake to move at that time, to take that step during this state of delight, because people tend to make more reckless decisions when elated, when inebriated with positive emotions. So waiting for a more level head is called for at this time, or that time has passed. So there's two sort of different interpretations for this changing line here. It's either you're at the peak of this delight and you need to wait for it to subside before you take that next step with your goal, with your plan. If you're in that peak of delight and the energies or people around you are all like super stoked right now, just enjoy it and don't do anything with it yet. The other interpretation is that it has already reached its peak, it has already gone too far, and there might be this energy of wanting to just stay in that delight and not do anything at all. But now is the time to make a change. Even if you're at that peak, you still have to make a change, even if it's only in your mind, where you realize, okay, I can't wallow in this delight, I can't stay here, or I can't, like I have to understand that this delight will end and then we have to continue. So that could be the change that you need to make. Or if you're already further down that timeline, it's now is the time to like take that step. The delight's past, the sobriety wants to return. Maybe you don't want it to return and you want to just stay in the feeling of elation and delight, but that's no good. That's like a type of addiction. Being addicted to emotions is going to stagnate you and prevent you from moving forward. So now's the time to make that change, to take that step that you were planning to take. You achieved part of your goal, and now is the time to achieve the next part of your goal and proceed forward with it. So let's pull some cards for you, Sagittarius. I'm going to spin a coin. It's going to land on one of these guys here, one of these 24 symbols, one of these aspects of life. And then we'll pull some cards for you about it. So what does Sagittarius need to know? So we have the Traitor, little upturned dagger symbol. This is like, that fell right out. 6 of Cups in reverse. Let's see if there's something else here. Oh, that fell right out too. The Princess of Wands. In other decks, it would be the Page of Wands. Came out sideways. So we have the 6 of Cups in reverse and the Page of Wands coming out on the Traitor here. So this could be someone from your past came back into your life, and it was unexpected, and this person maybe hasn't changed all that much. Maybe hasn't really matured. Maybe they're saying that they have, or maybe they're just, or maybe maybe they're saying they're not. The point is that this person hasn't really changed all that much over the years or over this time that you've been separated from each other or not in communication with each other. And this person is very nostalgic and talking about a lot of memories, maybe bringing up things that you guys used to enjoy and laughing about it and just bringing up happy feelings of nostalgia, which is great. It's nice to see an old friend, even if they haven't changed much. It's nice to see an old friend every now and again. But this person might be wanting to have more to do with you than just hanging out real quick and catching up. This person might be wanting to, like, I don't know, use you in some way to become more mature. Like maybe they have some type of problem that they think you can fix, and they're trying to come off as like a smooth talker or trying to make themselves attractive in some way so that you'll agree to something that they want to ask of you. Another interpretation could be that you've just been feeling nostalgic, and they're like really good memories that you've been just dwelling on, and you might be dwelling on them too much. That it may have awoken within you a type of nostalgia that is like sticking inside of your soul and you can't get rid of it. Like this feeling that you kind of want to keep around because it makes you feel good remembering all these old times and stuff. And it brought back this passion within you. So that's a good thing, like reigniting this passion from some sort of memory. But the memory itself is not what's important. The passion is what's important. And this newly awakened passion that you've gotten from this memory is what you need to use as fuel for something else. You need, because this fire and this Six of Cups in reverse, if these things remain linked, it will turn into like a sickness for you. It will turn into a real emotional problem where you associate this passion and this nice fuel with just something from the past that you don't need anymore, that you can't even use anymore because it's buried in the past in time and you can't get there. It's just a memory. So that's like an inner part of you that might like sort of betray you, right? This is on the traitor. But you have to use this passion for your next step. It's so great that we can remember something, remember why we were interested in it, why we fell in love with that thing, or it's like renewing our sense of purpose. I'm getting here. But renewing your sense of purpose, that sense of purpose itself, that passion itself needs to be separated from the memory and then attached to something new for your future. It needs to fuel your next steps and not get stuck just thinking about the past or getting trapped in the past, because then this fire will burn out. You know, the Six of Cups in reverse, it's all that water spilling out of those cups. It's going to quench this Princess of Wands here. So this is like a new, a Princess of Wands. That's the sort of, when I say immature, I just mean it's still new, right? It hasn't developed into its most useful state yet. So because it's new and hasn't developed into its useful state with a true direction, it could attach itself to these old memories and become useless and burn out. And that's not good. You want this Princess of Wands to become the knight, to become the queen, to become the king. You want it to go through its maturity and have a real stable direction ahead. So that's why this changing line, this sixth line proceeding forward, it's like, yeah, do it now. Like don't just dwell on this renewed passion. Do something with it. Change gears, change tack, change direction. Purity wanted to come out. Yeah, purify this passion of whatever it's attached to so that you can use it in its pure form. The memory is not the fuel. Don't let that illusion take you. The passion isn't coming from the memory. It was awoken by the memory. The memory helped it to come up. But it can exist on its own in its pure form, and you can use it for whatever you want. This passion doesn't require this memory. You can easily separate them and use it at absolutely, like, I'm imagining like siphoning gasoline out of a car and putting it in another car, like an old car that doesn't work, but it's still got a full tank. You know, the gasoline doesn't need the car. Your new car needs the gasoline, though. So that's a pretty clear, like, get going. All right, I'm gonna pull a token for you, Sagittarius. Let's see what we got for you. One last thing to round this reading out. We got the Six of Cups in reverse, the Princess of Wands, purity, all coming out on the Trader with delight and proceeding forward. So here we have a sense of harmony that was attached with something from the past, and you can separate that sense of harmony from the thing that created the harmony, and you can find that same sense of harmony with a new activity. It's like this passion, it can exist in its pure form. The harmony can exist in its pure form. They don't need to be attached to anything. The passion and the harmony don't need fuel to burn. It's not like a flame that needs a piece of wood. You know, the passion and the harmony are flames that can exist without fuel. In fact, they are fuel for something else. So if you have this idea that the passion and the purity and the harmony need some type of nostalgia for their fuel, or need something from your past to keep it going, it's not true. You'll find that passion and harmony in new forms and new ways, and you'll find that those are actually the pure fuels that you need to do something new. So what does Sagittarius need to know? One last thing for Sagittarius. This one's sticking in my hand. We have the alchemical or astrological symbol for the Earth and the number 3. So I chose the number 3 for this because the Earth is kind of like the third thing, like the child. If you have the divine masculine and the divine feminine, they come together and create the divine child. You have spirit and matter, and they come together and create Earth, the third thing, the world. It's the interaction between the two, the spirit and the matter. So you do have like infinite creativity here. You really can just have those pure aspects. Like with Earth coming out on the Trader here, it's like you can easily go both ways here. You can get stuck in the illusion that the Earth is fuel for what you need to do. That these memories and things from your past are the fuel that you require to take the next steps to keep your passion and harmony going. That would be the Trader succeeding in lying to you and tricking you. Because then you can go look at it the other way, that no. The passion and the harmony are the fuel that you use to create the physical world, or to create the life you want to live. So it's the exact opposite, where the world doesn't provide fuel for what you do, you provide fuel for the world to manifest. So you need to make that conscious shift in your mind and realize that you are in command of these pure spiritual forces that come together and create what you want, like a magician. So you have harmony on one hand and passion in the other, and these pure fuels that you have to realize are infinite. They won't run out. They won't run out. They just change form. They modulate differently. They vibrate with different things at different times. They resonate with different things at different times, but they're always there in their purest essence. They might look different because they attach themselves to different things, different activities, different people, different feelings or ideas. But look through the appearances, look through these more superficial aspects of reality, and see these pure spiritual forces on their own, and then you can attach them to whatever you want. You can use them as fuel for whatever you want, and that it just comes with some awareness practice. You know, just noticing, trying to get to the essence of things, especially your own feelings about things, And yeah, so like just separating the spiritual forces from the material phenomena, from your feelings, from the memories, and utilizing them in their infinite nature to create the life you want to live. And you have a very good opportunity to do that. You have like, there's some really good support here, probably brought on by your ability to think clearly about these things and to have a purity of intent with these goals that you've had. You've succeeded in some of your goals and are bound to succeed in more, or in the next steps. It's like you're a shoe-in, as they say. And because of that, you've gained probably this unseen support. This can also be like this really exciting spiritual support, like a spiritual helper who just really wants to just help you and help you see these things and help you put these energies into a useful, practicable form. Very cool, Sagittarius. So I think that's all the oracle and I have for you today. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, Sagittarius. I always appreciate you stopping by. I wish you all the best, and I'll see you next time.